Hour of looking, I finally found my spray can. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to spot this in, make it look perfect. And just going to sand it a little bit. And first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and Scotch-Brite the area a little bit. Alright, so we're all Scotch-Brited up. I'm going to clear down to about right here. Clear all the way down. But where you're worried about is where your base coat is on there, because the base coats today suck compared to the old school ones we used to use. They had better binder. That's the difference between the new ones and the old ones. But you want to make sure it's going to stick, so that's the most important thing. Then we'll go ahead and spot this with base. Alright, so before that you're going to go ahead and use your sprayway glass cleaner. And clean, I'm just going to go ahead and clean all the way over to the far end of the panel. Just make sure everything's clean because I want to blend further or whatever. Make sure it's all the sanding scratches. I use 600 grit because, like I said, the base coats, if you're using base coat, clear coat, you got to use 600. When I use sign finishes, I can actually use 220. And it'll cover it all. Or if you're using urethane, single stage urethane, it'll bury it no problem with 220. But if you use anything else, these base coats are so thin that you have to use 600. Alright, so we're all cleaned up with sprayway glass cleaner. Alright, so trying to get the whole picture here. So anyway, the next thing is we'll go ahead and tack cloth it a couple times. Just going to tack all the way out, tack the paper. Don't want any dust in this because I'm going to do this once and it's over. I've already tested my fan. I want a really small fan. So I'm going to go over here so you guys can see. And I'm going to just paint just lightly over the area with primer. Now, you gotta, with these new cheap base coats that they make now, you've gotta layer everything really light, let it dry. If you go too heavy, you'll get fish eyes. You know, that's what I found with this junk. So, it's not like base coats used to be when I used to use Max, Thickens. Probably those are a little bit better still now, but they still aren't as good as they used to be. As you guys have never used the old school stuff, you don't know what you're missing. You didn't need to use 600. You could use 220 and it would fill the scratches. So anyway, I'm going to let that sit for a minute. Alright, looks like our first coat of base is already set up. If you're wondering what primer I used, I didn't feel like mixing anything up, so I shot some Transtar 2-in-1 spray can primer, which works pretty good. Just doing a real slow build up, using a lot of air, just kind of feathering it out. Looks like we pretty well got it covered now. Just a little bit of scratches in the base. It's a solid color, so it should be fine as far as not being able to see those scratches. And if it was a metallic, if you were blending out to here, you'd want to use something a lot finer than what I used. I guess I used, what did I use? 600. You'd need to use like 800 or more if you were using metallic, trying to blend that out. Or probably 1,000 actually, especially with this base. Valspar base, so it's cheap stuff. It works fine for what I'm doing, but you know, for a lot of things it's a pain in the butt. So I don't really like Valspar that much. So anyway, we'll take a look. Let's let this dry for a second. Like I said, if you had that ring around there where the sanding ring is, that would show up. One of the tricks we used to use too is steel wool. Number 40 steel wool works good to sand down the panel for the clear coat to stick. But on this low of a spot, and the clear is pretty fresh still, and we're basically going to be using blending thinner from here up. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm actually going to blend right into this corner up here where the top of the fender is, and then that's going to be it. I'm just going to stop right there and you're not going to see anything when I'm done. Alright, so mixed up my clear. Base coat's completely dry. Like I said, if you were blending out anything that you didn't have had a metallic in, you'd have to make sure that you use the finer paper all the way around the patched area where you're going to stop your paint, because it'll show up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this up really slow. And I'm not even going to set my gun. I'm just going to go really nice and slow. And I'm just dusting it on. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at an angle to see that I don't have any orange peel, because I'm going to lay this down just super smooth. So I'm going to build it up really slow. I go further out every time. It's not a real big deal. The bumper hides 90% of this. So a little bit wetter. I'm just getting I'm putting on just such a very light coat that I'm actually going to do this in one process versus doing 3 or 4 coats, like you do a regular spot repair. Just kind of feathering it up, bringing it up slow. I got a lot of accelerator in here, so I've got some fish eyes or something going on. No, not fish eyes. Need to get a little bit wider right there. It's alright if you don't get it. I'm just trying to make sure my spot's pretty smooth. What's going on around it? We're actually going to blend out. So at that point, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the old spray can. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Now, I've never used one of these spray cans before, so you guys are going to learn with me. I just learned from a friend of mine, told me how to do this because he does it all the time, but I've done it before with the stuff that you used to use that you could get in that was good stuff that you could put in the gun. And so this one has a nice fan. I've never used this actual product. We used another one. And then what you do is just get it where your blend is going on. If you happen to see any orange peel in it or something too, you can kind of feather over that and just shoot it with air to let it dry out. You do it a few times. A little bit of orange peel right there, so this will flow about anything out. In fact, I got a little bit dry down here, so I'll go ahead and shoot some more clear down here. And since it's already starting to set up, I can just go like that. Shoot a little bit of blender on there. Wind is a little haunting right now. Got a little wind going on. Got my stuff. Yeah, I was getting a little bit mad because I'm looking for the stuff and the wind's kicking up, and I didn't really want to take this down to the spray booth for this little thing here. We'll just go ahead and blend it out again. Sometimes you got to do it 3 or 4 times. Light coat to the blender. If you get it too heavy, you'll fatty it up and it'll run. Just dust it on there. This stuff works pretty good. Like I said, I've never used it. I've always used the stuff that was in the spray cans. I've never had to do a blend like this. But I know how to do it. It's like riding a bicycle. You've done it once, sometimes you can just get back on. And when you hit it with the air, though, it kind of dries it out. Keeps it from coming down. Couple things I forgot to sand out of there, but not really worried about it. Small area. It's going to be a molding there. Bumper's going to go right here, so it's not a big deal. I got a little bit heavy with the clear on the bottom edge, but I'd rather have that than have it. Dry spot right at the bottom. Alright, so that's it. We're done. We'll let that set for a little while. Let's see if you can see that blend. You can polish it too. You see where I've gone out to the very top of this panel right here. And you really can't see anything different in the shine. So, goes right there, kind of blends out. You can actually do it right in the middle of here if you wanted to. It all depends on you. See, I forgot to sand out these little waterfalls. They were there, but once you put the molding on there, it hides 90% of that, so you're not going to see it. So I wasn't really worried about it. There's little stuff like that in this car, but most of it's to the point where it's hidden. Now if I wanted to also, I could color sand and buff that area, and you can actually not color sand right here, but you can do a little bit of buffing right there and buff in your blend. That's usually what I do, and then it turns out perfect. You can't even see it. There's just no start, no finish, nothing. Alright, so that's how you blend your clear. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.